Welcome back to We Are Live. It's Chris Denman and Travis Terrell, Chris Gardner in studio producing. We're live at the Midcoast Media Studios in Grand Center, St. Louis, Missouri, in the Dot Zach building that the Kranzberg Arts Foundation owns. Huge thanks to them for such great digs that we have here as partners in the show and everything else. So excited to be here. Thanks to everybody for a great weekend. We just the last hour we recapped a bunch of stuff, but some holdover. Travis, you have some tin foil on the console here. Looks to be a club of sorts. I don't know what's going on here. Phenomenal. Our friend, so our co-owner of the company, Beth Hoops, owner of Red Saw Publicity.
Look at
Midcoast.media if you want to know more about her.
Oh, doctor.
What is this that you have? She lives in Soulard with her loving husband. They own a home. They throw a big party every year that required wristbands this year, so it was very important. What do you have in your hand?
This is a fat-ass turkey leg. Fat. Like, it looks amazingly delicious. Unfortunately, right now, as we record, it's 9:30 in the morning, so I won't be able to take a big bite.
You put an egg on it, that's an omelet.
It is, but this is the kind of stuff that happens at St. Louis Mardi Gras. This is what takes place at people's house parties.
I mean,
look at that.
That bird would have to be pterodactyl size. I mean, that was huge.
That's a ghetto-ass bird. That's a thick-ass bird.
Right?
That's thick AF, Chris. That's thick AF. So thanks to Beth, and I'd imagine she threw a party that folks are probably wishing they can forget now. Because they probably drank
You either have to, if you're in the Soulard neighborhood in St. Louis during Mardi Gras, you either have to go full on and plan it. They did wristbands.
Yes.
They politely escort people out that aren't supposed to be there.
Right.
They have their friends all being vigilant. It's invite only, or you have to leave town. You either have to do that or the other, because you are, whether you like it or not, you will be incorporated into the madness.
I think it's very understood here in St. Louis that when you live in Soulard, what takes place. And I'm to your point, there are people who either just board up as if a hurricane was coming through. And
yeah,
and it usually
there are people that will put caution tape.
They'll put caution tape and they'll turn off all the lights, or there'll be people who will absolutely host 12-hour keg events.
Well, they do have hurricanes.
They literally have hurricanes. No, so shout out to Beth. What a sweet ass morning gift. What a great way to start the morning here in St. Louis. Oh boy, but you know what wasn't great, Chris?
What was that?
The St. Louis We Are Live bump took a hit to the brand this weekend.
It half worked.
Tyron Woodley decided to defend his belt in the UFC pay-per-view this weekend.
I watched it. It
didn't go well.
He lost. He loses to Kamaru Usman in a very one-sided, unanimous decision. Kamaru Usman is 10-0 now in the UFC.
Yep.
Tyron has not lost in something like, 4 or 5 years. He does turn 37 soon. He just looked amazing against Darren Till in Dallas. Darren Till, if you don't know, young future potential champion in the UFC from England, who's a very tough fighter, and Tyron destroyed him in Dallas and turned around, and the next man up was Kamaru Usman, who's referred to as Marty by his friend Ben. Kamaru Usman becomes the first African-born UFC champion ever. He did that by basically neutralizing every single thing Tyron had to offer. I have not heard anything, and we probably never will. It looked to me like Tyron was hurt or that he was distracted of some sort. I'm literally and he won't make them, I'll make them for him. The guy's putting out a rap album that Wiz Khalifa's involved with. He has some other stuff going on.
Are you telling me he was distracted, Chris?
He's on TMZ all the time. To me,
I don't have a source to confirm any of this.
Well, these are facts. These are facts. To me, he looked like a guy who either suddenly aged 10 years between fights, not likely because of how he takes care of himself and the professionalism in which he trains, or he did not train near as much or something as his opponent, who is much younger and outdid everything that he's good at with him. And it was very tough to watch because he never even got started. It was very confusing. The scorecards were, it was a historical beatdown for a defending champion, I should say.
It was tough to watch. I mean, I don't know what specifically that Woodley was going through, and it's very possible he could have been in.
Oh, you never know. Or sometimes you get beat because you're up against the best in the world.
Look, Woodley's a guy that is very, in front of the camera and very open about, his fights. I'm sure at some point here in the near future we'll hear from him exactly what happened. He may just say that I got my ass.
You know what
kicked.
his comment was? He said, "I realized the fight performance doesn't look like I deserve it, but he goes, my resume with 4 title defenses before this would hopefully get me an immediate rematch." That's fair to say, but he did look really bad, and there's other fun contenders slash fighters, blah blah blah.
But this is a good loss, in the sense like I think this is
Oh,
good for the brand.
he didn't get brutally knocked out.
Right.
He has no. I mean, he's probably beat up a little bit, but it looked like on his Instagram feed he was still going through with his after party.
Right.
Which I think that was like, hey, even if you're just cutting loose, good for you to be able to show up and do that.
I think, yeah, you have to, if you're going to be the person, the athlete, the personality that puts herself out there, you're going to have to be the person that goes to these events and stays in front of the mic when you have 2 black eyes and you've gotten your ass kicked. So you can't be the guy that only wants to be the cool personality in front of the camera and the media when things are going well. I think the sign
If you
of
so
respect,
choose to make your money in the fight game.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think a sign of respect, and we've seen guys like Chael Sonnen do the same thing, where they talk a big game, they get their ass kicked, but they're on the mic or on their podcast show the following week acknowledging, hey, I got my ass kicked, or hey, I didn't look good. So as long as they do that, that's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it's one of those things where there's always going to be young killers coming up, and there's already. You've got Usman, who's a new champ. Him and Colby Covington look to be a great matchup coming up.
Can I make an offer to our
already-
friend in Ferguson? Tyron Woodley, we have a turkey leg. for
Fat
you.
ass turkey leg.
Fat ass turkey leg.
As
So
noted by
please.
the great Nick Freed on
So
the.
if you would like, come by, have some turkey leg. We will make you feel better. Yum, 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 yum.
So we're definitely happy to be supporting Tyron. We look forward to his comeback. The other half of the Mizzou Tiger, St. Louis, Missouri, whatever connection, Ben Askren.
Maybe.
Hoping to get him on. I haven't been able to get in touch with him yet, but we've had him on several times before.
Stop screening our calls, Ben.
Yeah, what's up, Ben? But how about, did you see any highlights or anything?
I did see some of the highlights.
So he fought Robbie Lawler, who's one of the scariest people ever, former
Lawler
welterweight
had
champion
some
himself.
moments.
And right out of the gate, they lock up in the center of the cage. Ben gets dumped on his head in an all-time classic slam, in which he admitted after the fight, yeah, I was a little discombobulated after that. Proceeded to take a crushing blow 15 seconds in, ground and pound just hellacious from Robbie Lawler. So much so that I got the sick feeling in my stomach and said, oh, it's over. Oh, it's over. Oh. And he fought through it and
He did.
stayed alive somehow. Turned things around. Controversial ending with
The choke out?
with it's a bulldog choke, and the way it's described. So what could have happened is blood gets taken out of his head. He doesn't even realize he's out. His arm went limp. The
arm went
ref
limp. Yeah,
dropped it.
yes.
Seconds later, you can pop out of those. When it's not a wind choke, like you can pop out of that. Like, "Bah, here I am." So whether it was an actual out or not, from the even Joe Rogan and the commentators were like, he's out, he's out, he's out. Whenever the arm went down, you can't be mad at Ben Askren and then Robbie Lawler. Super, super, super gracious in defeat, saying, these things happen. He goes, I wasn't out, but Herb's a great referee, Herb Dean, the ref. So Ben Askren wins, and immediately, so good, gets up on the mic, says, hey, I'm not the ref, whatever. He's like, how long is it going to take for Dana White to bitch about this win? And Dana, is this all you got? That's what he said. That is owning your craft and being very good at it. Dana is calling for a rematch with them, but I don't know. I want Ben Askren to do well. He's fun for the sport.
And that's your UFC minute.
Nothing.
I'm
Not even going to volley with me a little bit. Okay.
I'm just happy that no one died. Every time I watch a UFC pay-per-view, I ask myself, who could die tonight?
Yeah.
And no one did. So I'm very happy that no one died. It was a fun card. It was fine. John Jones won his match. He looked incredibly impressive, and let's just hope for his sake and the sport's sake that when he's drug tested, there's nothing in his system. So I think that for the sport of ultimate fighting, for MMA and for the brand UFC, I think it was a good night. It's hard to get excited about a guy like John Jones, and it's hard to get excited about, Tyron losing. But it was fine. Was it WrestleMania? No. Was it SummerSlam? Not even close. Unforgiven? I wish. It wasn't even It wasn't better than a Monday Night Raw episode, but it's a up and coming sport. It's adorable. Dana White from time to time takes a page from Vince McMahon, and sometimes we'll see something spectacular. And until there's more pyrotechnics, until there's actually a demon body coming up through the mat, unless you can fly in like Shawn Michaels, the UFC will always be second to the WWE.
You know who's second to none?
Who was that, Chris?
Gateway Powder Coating.
Oh, boy.
GatewayPowderCoat.com is the website you go to for all of their capabilities. If you have any metal that needs powder coated, go see our friends in O'Fallon at Gateway Powder Coating. Don't let your metal be ruined by moisture, heat, or other unsavory circumstances. They are wonderful partners with us. They're actually putting together a custom wall logo for the Midcoast Studios, which your name will be stricken from.
Oh.
That's just a personal choice I've made.
odd decision.
Gateway Powder Coating, Mark and the boys will take great care of you. Be sure to stop by. Despite this single-digit weather we're dealing with, I will remind you, it is patio season soon, and you don't want your broke-ass stuff looking rusty, looking nasty. Get a hot pink smoker going. Get a lime green chair.
Don't
for
want your
Anthony to
patio
sit in.
furniture to be rusty AF.
That's gatewaypowdercoat.com for more information. Travis, we do a segment.
Oh, yeah.
It's been going very well. I've been dominating it, if I could say so myself.
Weird how it works.
We do the Great American Race, correct, Gardner?
It is time for the people's Great American Race.
Why is it for the people?
Yeah, there's no open either.
There's no-
So you
can-
can
oh.
just say it's the Great American
If it had to do with a bullpen cart, there'd be a 7-minute open,
Like an audio. It'd be like,
That's
beep,
a
beep.
little excessive.
3.5, with graphics packaging.
It'd be a video open.
Right.
It'd be a montage.
You would have got Danny. He would have got Danny Mac to voice
to
it.
narrate
Yeah, yeah.
it. Yes.
The Great American Race, of course, where Chris and I present stories that we believe would reflect very poorly on each other's communities. And of course, Chris Gardner, for whatever reason, and his amazing credit score, is now the arbiter of our people's credit score. We're going to determine which race
What?
is the Great American Race.
Rich race.
Which race?
So tell them how the scoring system works.
How the score system works, we start with a credit score of 850. Considering that the system is always against me, I will start at 750. And here we go.
Actually, Travis, you get a bump this week.
I do?
Yes.
What am I bumped to?
Let's see the scoreboard now.
Hey! Hold on.
Yeah.
I want to.
Tigar.
I won't get you. I'm going to get your score.
Oh, it's right there. Go
Leave
ahead.
it alone. Leave it alone. So Chris starts with 850. Travis, you start with 800.
Okay.
And we'll see who has the better credit score at the end of the month. And that will be our winner of the Great American Race for the month of March.
Can I kick it off? Can I get it started? Because I feel like this is a blast from the past, and she has been detrimental to the white community for a long time now. And I'm hoping that this new story and her reappearing back into the media is what gets me back into the Great American Race, and where I'm speaking none other than Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr calls me to accuse her.
Tired, please.
She calls me to accuse her hoes,
I thought the bitch was white.
and then criticizes Kamala Harris. Ousted star Roseanne Barr used her interview on Sunday's first episode of the Candace Owens Show to issue a fresh round
What was
of
that pause?
incendiary
There
comments.
was even a nose. There was a little thing there.
She basically went on the Candace
Candace
Owens
Owens?
Show. She is a black woman who has decided to embrace the MAGA movement.
Okay.
So she is popular
Why are you
with...
speaking negatively? Don't you support free choices in this country?
I do not.
Finally, he admits it on the air. He admits it's not about equality; it's about power. He isn't even backing off it. He's like, "Yeah, bitch, you're about to end up on the caulk farm."
I'm here just to root on the black people.
Thank you very much.
That's fair.
Regarding the Me Too movement and sexual misconduct, Barr explained that someone she had spoken to had said the women were there in the room because they thought they were getting a job 15 years ago. That's what Roseanne Barr said about the Me Too accusers. Well, it's because they're hoes. Like, if you don't run out of the room and go, excuse me, you don't do that to me, and leave, but you stayed around because you're like, well, I thought maybe he was going to give me a writing job. Well, you aren't nothing but a hoe. Fascinating words from the always articulate Roseanne Barr. She went on to cast aspersions on Christine Blasey Ford, who, of course, testified during the Brett Kavanaugh
Blasey?
hearing last year. Is it Blase? I thought it was Blasey. Blase? How do white people say y'all middle names? Christine Ford.
Why do you think it's a middle name?
Yeah, that's a good point. She spoke to...
What did she say?
She said that she should be in prison. She said, this is what Roseanne Barr said about Miss Ford, that she is a white woman of privilege, was the only thing that kept her out. Owen suggested that Ford's failure to file a police report at the time of the alleged assault is in some way relevant to her supporters having raised millions of dollars for her on GoFundMe. Barr criticized Kamala Harris, calling her, you guys ready for this one? This is going to hurt you, Chris. Kama Sutra Harris, and implying that Harris' former relationship with San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown is related to Harris' career trajectory. We all know what she did. She slept her way to the bottom. Of course, we all remember Roseanne Barr being fired from ABC's reboot of Roseanne after posting a racist tweet about Obama aide Valerie Jarrett.
Okay. Is that all you got?
That is it.
Okay, I'm going to just interject something here. I agree with Chris that Roseanne's a little tired.
Okay.
To go into that well is going to
Really?
be difficult for you.
But she is such a...
But I'm not going to give a score yet.
Okay.
But I will say the fact that she used the phrase Kama Sutra Harris
That's huge.
Nice.
That's big.
is really bad.
That's really bad.
And that's going to hit Chris's credit score. It is a tired act that Roseanne has, but it's so bad, that nickname, that will have an impact today.
Are
I
you
will
punishing
say
her
that.
more because you actually respect that she has been funny at times and can be very funny? Like, are you saying, like, listen, if you're a retired Michael Jordan, you should still hit 9 out of 10 free throws. If you bring me a 3 out of 10 free throw
Yeah,
attempt,
because if you
Because
can
you're
be
Michael
funny
Jordan.
and you go with a nickname of Kama Sutra Harris, that is disappointing. That's the best you could come up with.
Right.
You shouldn't have just said it. If she wouldn't have said that,
Well, like-
if that would have been revealed to me in the story,
comma up with
I
a
would have
better
been,
budget
whatever.
plan.
Yeah. That
Keep it political. Yeah.
Roseanne Barr, Candace Owens, who gives a S?
Yeah.
Who really cares?
All right.
But the fact that the nickname was so bad and you're supposed to be a funny person, I mean, it's kind of like Dennis Miller now.
There it
like,
is.
You used to be maybe funny,
See?
but
Chris, try to top that.
Oh, this is easy. I completely discredit his choice. He picked a mentally ill person, so he, once again, black community not supporting mental health or awareness. You come after somebody who's obviously dealing with some sort of issue.
how you go on Tom Duff's podcast and then come back at
Mental
us like
Health
that?
Matters by St. Louis Counseling Services. I present to you the Kardashian family. They continue to give folks dings in their credit score from the black community.
Okay, this is interesting.
Things start out nice. It seems like a great thing to go and purchase that Bentley that you can't afford, but hey, there's no down payment, so why wouldn't you go after it? That is what the Kardashians are to black folks. Hey, I'll live this life. I'll up my career. I'll do this. And then you take a bunch of dick pills and you're half dead in a Vegas brothel, and everybody doesn't remember that you used to play basketball and were one of the very, very good players in college and in the pros. Black China and Rob Kardashian back in the news. Black China, her name is Black China. She's also appropriated China. She misspelled an entire continent, or entire country's name for this, put a spin on it with the Y in there. So I'm not dealing with this. And publicly dealing with her child named Dream, which we won't even pull in the fact that Dream is probably going to get made fun of and be called Nightmare for half of her life. They've drugged this all back out there. Kardashians plus Black China, that's a big credit hit for the African American community. And I'm so sorry you came with something so weak as a mentally ill, past her prime, never that great comedian from the white community.
See, now this is interesting. I would like to challenge this if I can. I know I don't have too much time, but I would like to just acknowledge that this, again, you want to talk about an old hat story. We all know that the Kardashians are the real life Get Out. So I don't think this is fair for him to go back
March
to this old
4th,
well.
2019, from your trusted news source, TMZ.
And in this particular case, look, it just seems like a simple rift between a couple who had a baby at a young age.
Doesn't seem too simple to me. If you know that you have a disease, say you've picked up the flu,
Okay.
or no, not the flu, say you've picked up strep throat, and you go into your office without taking your antibiotics, that's on you. You're infecting everyone. They essentially have not been taking their medicine, and they remain blisters on the roof of America's mouth.
I don't think it's fair that ethnically ambiguous women are attracted to black men, and now I'm going to be punished for it.
Oh, this is a black woman.
What this black woman has had to endure is what most black women in America have to go through. And to punish her because of the behavior of white people, I don't understand how that works against the blacks in this case. I think that I presented a more incriminating story to your community, considering that you guys have held up Roseanne so highly. Black China, her own mama doesn't even like her. What do you think? Black folks love her? White folks love Roseanne, though. Y'all have loved her for years. She's the first family of blue-collar comedy. Y'all some Roseanne, and she is racist as hell.
How about
I
this?
think I have done enough to proven
This is the point
that
where
the
he
blacks
yells
are the
to-
great American race.
Tra-
That's the
Travis.
point where he yells to try and prove his point. Also, we have a comment from our friend Nick Freed, actor, comedian, comical actor, very funny dude. He said, we also don't expect Jordan in retirement to call Steve Kerr a stupid honky.
This is also true.
I just had to get that in. All right, so Gardner, where are we at on the credit? hits?
Travis,
Which I'm guessing we can't do live score updates.
we cannot. You
My
One
favorite.
day.
your story's impactful, but I was sitting here thinking about it too.
Oh, boy.
You do have Candace Owens involved in your story
That is
as
that,
well.
but that's
Yeah, you kind of hurt yourself
but
there.
that is, but that just simply
Thank you for the
acknowledges-
free points.
Oh, that's actually just acknowledging that the black community is more than just about being Democrats and progressives.
Covered my bases. Kardashians are Armenian, and
Yeah.
would while they enjoy white privileges, they would never go as far to call themselves Caucasian, even though they're probably
They
the closest thing to
probably-
real caucus members from that
they
area.
probably
so.
enjoy privileges from multiple races. The Kardashians,
Correct.
it seems.
Correct, which makes them
Now
ethnically
they
ambiguous, which
also
is not white.
they also are a well, and I would like to actually, Travis, we need to talk about the Kardashians tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Whatever the hell is going on
Big
there.
story there.
We have some Black Twitter stuff we need to get to tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
So, Chris, you started with 850. Travis, you started with 800. Travis, I'm going to dock Chris's score 50 points because of just the Kama Sutra hairs.
Okay, all
It was so bad. I could have gone more, but you did have Candace Owens involved in the story, and you did go to the well. So Chris will be at 800 when we play next Monday.
Okay, that's fair. That he can still buy a very affordable home on the West Coast, but all right.
And now I'm going to dock Travis's credit score just 20 points.
Ah, yes.
Now this is
This is huge.
If
Here
I-
we go. We got
if
ourselves
I-
a game now, boys and girls. Here we go.
if
I mean,
I
Rob Kardashian doesn't even really count as Kardashian.
This
It's
is
kind of
also
really
true. Very trash Kardashian
So-
he is.
if I was ever to call out affirmative action,
Oh, wow.
Today
He's pulling
is
that
that
card.
day.
He should be
Today
deducted
is
more
that day.
points for pulling that card.
Well, you should just say you started with a lower credit score, you idiot.
Yeah.
I'm docking you another 10 for not going with that argument. So there.
Wait. I'm getting dogged for not
Yeah.
going with an argument?
Yep, 770. You'll
Oh,
start. It'll be a tight
man.
one though. You've created some. You're right there. Chris will be at 800.
I
You'll
think-
be at 770
I think
starting next week.
Gardner's been spending a little too much time on Black Twitter. This
I'm
is
not
not
really
fair.
on Black Twitter. I'm
Creeping
lurking.
in, lurking. Yeah,
Lurking.
that's true.
What if I also throw in the Kardashians?
No,
Support Trump. That's another 10 points, yeah?
no, you can't go to. You should have used that when you had your defense.
Yeah,
Thought it was understood.
he's always late.
And we got to talk about them tomorrow. And we got to talk about Michael Jackson tomorrow too.
Oh, we do. Oh, boy.
Black Twitters and
Apparently, the Finding Neverland documentary is making its rounds because I'm seeing a lot of sick face emojis and hashtag Neverland documentary. It's one of those things. So am I wrong? So I do enjoy good stories. I love Netflix, all that good stuff. Am I a coward, or do I know myself really well? I've now successfully, purposely, and I love interesting content. I really do, and I like being up to date on things I'm at least interested in. The Abducted in Plain Sight, I've heard too much, and I don't want to see it now.
I'm kind of in that boat.
But I feel like I should because
not
it's
going
supposedly
to.
this great piece of documentary filmmaking. I don't want to watch it now because I've used context clues to figure
Yeah.
out what was kind of going on. And then I'm in the same thing with the Michael Jackson thing, where the only thing I would find interesting is if there was some kind of definitive thing that would prove and to say like, okay, so we have a little bit of closure, but we're still working with somewhat of hearsay, or I don't even know. But it involves one of the most heinous, horrible topics potentially. So admittedly, I'm going head in the sand on this one too. And I think that's probably what's wrong with a lot of this stuff is we hear about this and how horrible it is, and then you turn your head and then it happens 20 more times. Am I a coward for not wanting to watch both those?
I think you probably would want to watch them because they are good works of art. At least that's what I've been told.
And it's shedding some light into horrible situations?
I have not had an opportunity. I was going to begin it late last night, and I realized that's probably not the move. It's probably something I should watch when I have.
I'm just going to go to
time to
season
spare.
3
Well,
of The
it's,
Office.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I
leaving.
ultimately did.
It's leaving Neverland, and then tonight, I guess there's After Neverland, which will be hosted by Oprah.
Oprah's has decided to take a deep dive. She's jumping in feet first into this situation, and I'm curious to see how it goes. I don't know how Black Twitter has responded. I'll be honest, I wasn't on
We
much of
have
social
tonight
media,
to research.
and I will, and I'll have an opportunity to kind of get some general feedback. But this should be an interesting watch because a lot of people are huge fans of Michael Jackson, and if there's any hint of any kernel of truth in any of this, it's going to be very difficult for people to deny the action and then try to make the same argument when we didn't just make it for R. Kelly.
Had he not teamed up with Quincy Jones, would we have already wrote him off? That is single-handedly in human history some of the best music that's ever been created that reached every facet of every country, of every corner of the world, age, whatever. Turn on one of Michael Jackson's hits and just watch anyone not just naturally bob their head, tap their toe, something. This is the most unique, weird case of anything we've ever seen. And it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing. He was enjoyed across any people imagine. We can honest to God say if he's not the best, he's top 5 all-time musical artists. And it came about at a weird time with media growing, TV growing, MTV growing, corporate endorsements growing. This is the most unique thing in the social publicity entertainment atmosphere that we've dealt with ever as humanity.
I think the most disturbing thing about a lot of these revelations, whether it be Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, I think the thing that is some of our favorite works of art have come from or may have been inspired from some of the most disgusting human acts known to man. I think that's the thing that's more heartbreaking, that the things we have come to love, whether it be the movies, the music, the albums, the concert, the live tours, etc., I think the moments that we attach to the happy moments in our lives, in our childhood, we are now learning that the inception of some of these creative ideas were from men who were doing the absolute worst to other people. And I think trying to reconcile that now, there are a lot of people who are trying to piece it all together. Just imagine what Michael Jackson's music has meant to a generation. Now imagine you trying to piece some of that great art and music together, knowing that the individual who created it was likely doing something that we all find as a society not only illegal, but incredibly dehumanizing and just demoralizing. So
Take it a step further. Then you add in the fact that now we're smart enough to know that actions cause consequences.
right. And the
His
severity
upbringing, there is 1,000,000%. I don't know if he did this stuff. I don't know what was done, blah, 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 blah. There is 1,000,000% correlation between his upbringing and the accusations that have happened. 1,000,000%. There's no denying it. Ask any doctor, ask any psychologist, whatever. That behavior is 1,000,000% connected to growing up and being exposed to other behaviors.
I don't know
because you
specifically.
create monsters.
If
right?
Michael Jackson was sexually abused as a child growing up, you can absolutely see the correlation between the two. I don't know if that's ever been proven. I know there's been rumors that took place
Trauma.
within the family.
Trauma was
but there,
caused,
yeah,
though.
certainly there was. I would imagine some type of abuse. The children have spoken to a degree about some of the abuse that they experienced in the hands of their father, but I don't know if that directly caused Michael Jackson to do what he has been alleged to have done, but I can absolutely see the connection if that was the case, if he was indeed abused as a
Like
child.
99.9% of
And
the
we
time,
see it in
usually
society.
people that commit these crimes.
Right.
it was
These
done
aren't
to them.
people, like I said, this wasn't something that I think, again, if this isn't true, this is indeed true, that Michael Jackson just picked up along the way. I would imagine some of the trauma coming from his childhood, the way that he was raised, and just part of his public persona that may have led him down this. Now, I'm not saying that as an excuse, and if Michael Jackson did what they said he did, then I hope we hold him accountable like we have tried to hold the likes of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. But I think that's where everyone is, the general public is right now, is that, oh my God, this music means so much to me because it got me through a heartbreak, or it got me through college, or it got me through a divorce, or it got me through being fired from a job, or it's just music I love hearing and it just brings back great memories. Now you have to reconcile that by saying, holy hell, at the time he was making Thriller, was he doing that with Little Boy? Oh my God, when he was making History, was he doing that with Little? So now it's just, and because of social media, we're all having this conversation in the public. So we'll delve deep more into that on tomorrow's show.
There it is. We've got a minute or two left before we do Fair or Foul. Get those in. Topic, Imagine Dragons is
Oh,
a new
boy.
Nickelback,
Oh,
I
boy.
believe. $10 to New York Tom's Food Truck. We do have some submissions, so we can get it going whenever.
Let's get it
Want
popping.
to do the poll?
Let's get some poll results. Results from a poll.
You're a big fan of polls in general,
Man,
Travis.
do
so
I ever.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. The question today was,
I love when Gardner settles in on it. He's like,
He
here we
very
go.
Look
Let
at
me
him,
bring
all
it to you.
snuggly.
when preparing for a snowstorm, is it more important to buy bread, eggs, milk, or kale ahead of time?
Good question.
This is a tight one.
This was,
16% kale,
of course. I see you, Clayton.
26% milk,
Wow, that's pretty low.
26%
Oh.
bread,
Oh.
Y'all doughy mother.
and 32%
Really?
eggs. Eggs is the winner for when preparing for a snowstorm. Is it more important to buy bread, eggs, milk, or kale? ahead of
Eggs
time?
are versatile. Eggs are very versatile. I'll give you that.
That's fair. That's fair. But I thought it would have been bread.
I'm,
Thought it would
I'm,
have been
I'm
bread.
surprised kale to get more votes. A lot of you white folks, y'all love dipping kale in kale. Y'all just love kale.
And you know, and we're at a point in history where people are trying to eat better and live better and all that good stuff. Can we just call it what you want to call it? Don't, with this kale stuff, don't be like, "Hey, kale chips, they're ranch flavored." It's a dirty little plant that you threw some sprinkling on.
That's very true.
And if we want to admit that we're being healthy, let's do that. Let's stop trying to, nacho flavored kale chips. No, it is a trash little plant that you made taste better to trick your ass.
Yeah.
And the reality is that's not going to satisfy anything. You may get some nutrients from it if you cook it right and store it right. More than likely, you're just basically feeding the triggers in your brain
There it
that are
is.
wanting the real thing, which is some form of Doritos or something. If you're going to eat kale. But don't say you're like, oh, kale, they're just as good as the real thing. No, they're not. You're a liar, and you don't need it for snow time. Get your eggs. Live on that chicken period.
Very good point. You know, the best diet is always the mental
Menstruation.
diet. I love that too. Or cocaine. But that leads us to now the people's fair.
Why is this all for the people?
Because I love them. Or foul.
At this defining moment, change has come to America.
People often ask me, what's fair or foul?
They asked me at Mardi
Is it a
Gras.
segment?
Not one time.
Is it
He's
a
a
hope?
liar. It's
I'm
never
telling
Is
happened.
it hope? I can't say for certain. Time will be a true test of its power. But I can say, fair or foul is now and forever for the people.
true.
Gather around the radio with your loved ones and hold on to your butts.
Okay.
It's now time for fair
We give it back to you, the people.
or foul.
That's what Elmer Fudd did when he got this turkey leg. Thanks, Beth.
Much to the chagrin of Vijack's founder, John Beebe, we did ask a very important question.
Very important question, Chris.
Imagine Dragons. The new Nickelback? How
What
do
do
you
we got?
feel? How do you feel about this,
I
Trevor?
concur with that
Oh,
statement.
wow. Let's go to the people. Fair or foul for Imagine Dragons. Imagine Dragons write music for dumb people. The hit Thunder features the word thunder 74 times throughout. I rest my case. Do they have a song called Thunder?
I'm sure they do.
He's not referring to Thunderstruck
No, but I'm
by
sure
the
they
great
have one.
AC/DC.
Or as I like to call them,
He was caught in the middle of a railroad track.
yeah,
Thunder.
thunder.
And I knew there was no coming back.
Thunder.
I ran grace, and I thought, what should I do?
Thunder.
And I knew there was no help from you.
Thunder. I think I did that well. I think I got that.
That was me with no hands, by the way. If, in case you're wondering, I did listen to that album on CD probably 740 times a day when I was like 9. So you take a drink every time they say thunder, too. Foul, like so foul. Imagine Oh, that was, by the way, from our friend Matt.
Okay.
That was his first submission. Foul, like so foul. Imagine Dragons are like total amaze balls. I remember I was on vacay getting a half calf, all foam, no whip, double latte with an extra shot, and a side whip at Starbucks, and Dan was like right in front of me. It was life changing. It's from Basic Bitch Becky, Triple B. Thanks, Bake. Foul. This is like comparing a light headache to a brain tumor.
Oh, God.
If you don't believe me, look at this photograph. Think about how you remind me that they say that a hero could save us.
This is not good. This is not good.
Now that I've taken you back to the early 2000s, you can appreciate how much better off we are now. And he included a photo with Chad Kroger holding a photo to say, look at this photograph.
No, we don't have to.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
No, let's not do it anymore.
Best part of that song, our friend Joey O. They go, the hell's on Joey's head? Why? Why is that logo? Why do I know all these lyrics?
Yeah.
Fair foul has gone to hell.
One more time. What the hell's on Joey's head? Thanks, Tech Electronics, for the great audio that I can
Who was that
exercise
from?
my pipes. That was really good. Sorry, I'm sweating. The JVL Jackal.
Okay.
Oh, these are strong. Foul. You won't be saying this when the new Imagine Dragons restaurant opens on Washington.
Good point.
TT's, Pink Eye. Who's opening the restaurant? Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
What's the song that we like to make fun of theirs? No, they do the My Wish.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they do that one too.
Dying child
Yeah.
with that horrible music.
Maybe
Thanks,
they do
House
that
of
one.
Mouse.
I don't know.
Thanks, House of
Don't
Mouse.
blame them.
Foul. You guys are trying to make me decide which successful white people I'm going to hate on today. Now I know what it feels like to be Stephen A. Smith.
You're so proud of that.
My God.
You're just too
You're welcome
proud
for
of
the comedic timing on that one. That was the Black Sheep.
Of course it was.
With that. More like this. This was very good. Travis, who you got, buddy?
Got TT's pink eye.
TT's Pink Eye. Wow, with the Washington submission. Okay. Guardsy.
I got JVL Jackal.
I loved the last one from the Black Sheep. I got to go JVL Jackal as well. You have won fair or foul today. And what the hell's on Joey's head?
No, let's not do that again.
Big thanks to everybody. I got a couple live reads I got to tell you about. Big thanks to our friends at Hillside Animal Hospital. Be sure to check out Dogs on Film every Wednesday with Dr. Ed. Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. When they say aloha, they say it from the heart. Love them, love their food. It's going to get warm, people, and when it does, you got to go visit Buzz and Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Again, Tech Electronics for helping us build out this amazing studio. Look forward to Impolite Company and Chris Sear returning in the Midcoast Studios. Huge project with Tani Sushi Bistro right around the corner. Shout out to our buddy Matt Whitener of The Scenario and the OG Hour filmed here. Matt just put that up. Orlando Pace came by our studios and sat. He said, "Where does Chris Denman sit? I would like to sit there." He sat in my chair, and because I weigh more than Orlando Pace, the chair held up very nicely. Comedy at Southtown Pub every Thursday at 8 p.m. Be sure to check it out this week. Bunch of great comics on board. We'll launch that event today. And lots of thanks to all you for all of the wonderful support. Bye, Jack, Red Saw, everybody here at Midcoast Media. Cannot thank you all enough. What a great weekend at 1860s in Soulard. Support all the people that support us because that's what keeps us rocking and rolling. Good things coming, everybody. Thank you so much for the support. We're back tomorrow live on the live stream at 8 a.m. If you want to download on iTunes, Spotify, wherever, be sure you share that and tell other people about it. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.